Last spring, I was reviewing a family law attorney's billing when I noticed something in her timekeeping reports. She had logged 14.2 hours on a custody modification. Solid documentation, detailed entries, the kind of time records that hold up if anyone ever questions them. But the invoice she sent the client was for 9.5 hours. I asked her about it. She said she'd cleaned up the bill before sending it, took out some of the research time, reduced a few entries she thought looked too long, rounded down on a phone call. She wasn't trying to pad anything in the first place. She just didn't feel right charging for all of it. She gave away 4.7 hours of work before her client even saw the invoice. At her rate, that was $1,645. One case, one billing cycle. Usually, a write-off happens after you send the invoice and the client doesn't pay, or pays less, or you agree to reduce the balance. That's a receivables problem. What I'm talking about happens earlier. It happens in the space between finishing the work and generating the bill, when an attorney sits down with their time entries and starts editing. A 2-hour research session becomes 1.5. A 45-minute call becomes 30 minutes. 3 separate entries for emails get combined into one smaller entry. The time was logged accurately when it happened. The reduction comes later, driven by a feeling that the client will push back, or that the bill looks too high, or that the work took longer than it should have. The problem is that none of this shows up in your financial reports as lost revenue. It was never billed, so it was never receivable, so it was never written off. It just disappears. Your P&L doesn't know it existed. Your realization rate looks fine because the rate is calculated against what you billed, not what you worked. So let's look at what law firm billing leakage costs your law firm over a year. Take a solo practitioner billing at $350 an hour. If she's editing down an average of 1.5 hours per week across her caseload, that's $525 a week she's choosing not to bill. Over 48 billing weeks, that's $25,200 a year. Not uncollectible and written off. Never billed at all. In a small firm with 3 or 4 attorneys doing the same thing, the number multiplies fast. I've seen firms where the gap between hours logged and hours billed was running 15% to 20%. They were profitable. They could have been significantly more profitable, and they had no idea the gap existed because nobody was measuring it. The math is simple, but the behavior is invisible unless someone is comparing timekeeping data to invoiced amounts. And in my experience, almost nobody is. Why do attorneys edit down their time? It's rarely about dishonesty. It's about discomfort. Billing is the part of practice where the work meets the relationship, and a lot of attorneys would rather leave money on the table than risk a difficult conversation. Some of it is about comparison. An attorney does a task in 3 hours that she thinks a more experienced attorney would have done in 2, so she bills for 2. The problem with that logic is that the client hired her at her rate for her work. If the rate accounts for her experience level, the time is the time. Discounting it internally is second-guessing a rate the client already agreed to. Some of it is about client type. Family law and immigration attorneys do this more than most practice areas, in my experience. The work is personal. The clients are under financial stress. The attorney feels the weight of that and adjusts the bill in response, not through a formal fee arrangement, but through line item reductions on the back end. And some of it is about avoiding scrutiny. If the bill is smaller, the client is less likely to question it. Fewer questions mean fewer uncomfortable conversations. The attorney trades revenue for peace of mind, and the trade happens so gradually it never feels like a decision. If you want to identify law firm billing leakage in your own practice, pull a report of hours logged against hours invoiced. Your practice management software can show you this if you know where to look. Pull a report of hours logged by the timekeeper for a given period. Then pull the invoiced hours for the same period. The difference is your pre-invoice reduction. In Clio, for example, run the productivity report alongside the billing report. In my case, compare the time entries report to the invoices report. If you're using standalone timekeeping and billing in QuickBooks, this comparison takes more manual work, but it's still possible by exporting both datasets and lining them up. What you're looking for is a pattern. Occasional adjustments are normal. A partner trimming a few minutes here and there isn't a financial problem. But if the same attorney is consistently billing 15% or 20% less than they log, that's a structural issue with how the firm thinks about its own value. This isn't a billing software problem or a time tracking problem. It's a pricing confidence problem, and it gets solved by looking at the data and making a decision about it. If you're routinely editing down your time because the bill feels too high, the question isn't whether your entries are accurate. The question is whether your rate matches the work you're doing and the clients you're serving. If your rate is right, bill the time you worked. If it's not, change the rate. Either way, the answer is a deliberate choice, not a series of invisible edits that nobody tracks. Some firms solve this by having someone other than the working attorney review and approve invoices before they go out. That creates a layer of accountability. It's harder to discount your own time when someone else is looking at the numbers and asking why.